So let's start discussing about graph for 1D motion. The theory of the graphs can be generalized into 6 points. We will discuss 6 points how to draw the graph. Now the first point, that is a linear equation. A linear equation between x and y represents a straight line. We all know this. Represents a straight line. For example, if we take y is equal to 4x minus 2 or y is equal to 5x plus 3. Now all these equations are of the form of y is equal to mx plus c, which is a formula known as slope intercept form straight line. Here m is the slope and c is the intercept, or rather the y-intercept. Now if we draw something like this, straight line, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. If we draw a straight line, this is the angle made by the straight line with the positive direction of x-axis. We have to remember what is slope. M is the slope, that is tan theta, that is also dy dx in calculus. Now in this straight line, this is the y-intercept part, length from the origin to the point where the straight line cuts the y-axis. This is the, now here it cuts the y-axis in the negative direction, so it will be minus c. If the straight line would have intersected the y-axis here, then this would have been the positive c. The second point, x proportional to y. That means if y increases, x also increases, and vice versa. X is equal to ky, another form, same form, represents a straight line passing through the origin. That means if whenever a relation in physics comes like this, x proportional to y, we always have to represent it as a straight line which starts from the origin. Now the third point, x proportional to 1 by y, or rather we call it as inversely proportional. X inversely proportional to y represents a rectangular hyperbola in the xy graph. For example, p proportional to 1 by v, or rather v proportional to 1 by p. This is a graph from the law of Boyle's law, also known as the isothermal process. We will be studying about this isothermal process in thermodynamics in class 11. Here t is a constant. So the shape of the graph is x is y. Shape of the graph is like this. As we all know, the p versus v graph, the Boyle's law graph, comes like this. This shape is known as the rectangular hyperbola. Now the fourth point, a quadratic equation. We all know what is a quadratic equation. Represents a parabola. For example, if we take the equation as y is equal to suppose 3x square plus 2. This is a quadratic equation because the power of x here is 2. In this form of equation, the shape of the graph should be a parabola. When you will come to learn about the two-dimensional motion, or rather the projectile motion, in projectile motion, the shape of the projectile is like this. This is a parabola because the equation of the projectile motion represents this kind of a thing. Now the fifth point, if z is equal to y by x or dy by dx, or the form dy by dx, then the value of z at any point on the xy graph can be obtained by the slope of the graph at that point, as you have already mentioned here, as I have already mentioned here, that m is equal to tan theta is equal to dy by dx. So we are going to discuss about the slope of the graph in greater detail after this part. The last point, if z is equal to y into x, it is of the multiplication form, or y into dx or x into dy. This represents area under the curve. We will be learning this later. Suppose this is a straight line, v t curve, velocity versus time graph. Now the area under this straight line, this part of the area, gives s, or rather the displacement. Here s is v into t, that means s is the z, v into t is y into x. Now you are going to discuss the term slope again. For that, point number 1, a straight line. We have studied earlier that m is equal to tan theta is equal to dy by dx. So a straight line graph has a single slope. So if you take the graph of the form parallel to the x-axis, here theta is equal to 0, so tan theta also equal to 0, that means slope is 0. Straight line passing through the origin, this angle is theta, it means this angle is also theta. Here it has got a positive slope because theta here is an acute angle, or an angle less than 90 degree. So tan theta positive, so the slope is positive. Now for a graph like this, the angle with the positive direction of x-axis is obtuse. Here it is a obtuse angle, or greater than 90. Here tan theta is negative, slope is also negative. Now for a curved graph, it has got variable slopes. For example, a graph like this, x, y, at this point, if the angle is theta 1, and at this point, if the angle is theta 2, so theta 1 here is less than theta 2. So the slope at point, suppose this is point A, this is point B, the slope at point A should be less than that of slope at point B. Similarly, theta 1, theta 2. Here theta 1 is greater than theta 2. Therefore tan theta 1 must be greater than tan theta 2. That means this point A, this point B. So slope at point A is greater than slope at point B. This is a upward graph, or rather increasing graph. This is a decreasing graph. Now we discuss about the graphs according to the quality of motion. If we take the particle to be at rest, then we will discuss about three graphs. One is S versus T, one is V versus T, and also A versus T. That means displacement time graph, velocity time graph, and acceleration time graph. Now what do we mean by rest? That means as time passes, the particle does not change its position. That means S1 is equal to S2. Also, V is equal to 0, A is also equal to 0. Velocity is also 0, acceleration, it is meaningless. So, if you draw a straight line parallel to the x-axis or the time axis, or rather the independent axis, this represents a graph of a particle at rest. This graph will remain blank, this graph will also remain blank. Now let us discuss a motion, constant velocity. The particle is moving with a constant velocity. It is better to draw the velocity time graph of a particle at constant velocity. That means velocity does not change with respect to time. So this is a velocity time graph. The corresponding S versus T graph for this particle, it will be like this. That means for every interval of time, 1, 2, 3, 4, every interval of time, the displacement made by the particle is equal in magnitude. The gaps here all are equal in magnitude. Constant velocity means no acceleration. So this graph will remain blank. A versus T will remain blank. Now, particle moving with constant acceleration. Here we have to draw the acceleration graph at first, because if the constant velocity graph is like this, therefore the constant acceleration graph will be similar to it. Then we are going to draw the velocity time graph. Constant acceleration means the velocity is increasing continuously at a constant rate with respect to time. The corresponding S versus T will be somewhat like this, because with every interval the displacement increases. The gaps are steadily going to widen up. The last of this category is particle moving with constant retardation. Now, retardation can also be written as negative acceleration. Retardation is also known as negative acceleration. Here also we try to draw the acceleration time graph first. Now, as this is negative acceleration, therefore the graph will be like this. It will not be on the positive side of the y-axis. It will be on the negative side of the y-axis. According to this acceleration time graph, if you draw the velocity time graph, that means the velocity is decreasing now. And if the particle comes to rest, then we have to end the graph here. Velocity is completely zero on the time axis. The corresponding S versus T graph will be just of the opposite type, S versus T graph. That means the displacement is decreasing here with respect to time. The gaps are going to narrow down now. Now here I am going to draw two graphs. Suppose one is a velocity time graph for s versus t, as you can take it. The shape of the graph is like this. Another graph, let us take it to be like this. Now, are these graphs feasible? That means possible or not. Are these graphs possible or not? These graphs are not possible because here we have drawn in such a fashion that the time axis is going on the negative direction. The time cannot go in the reverse direction. Here also the result is the same. Now one or two more points. Slope of ST graph gives velocity. Now suppose this is ST graph. We draw a straight line like this. What we have learned, theta, A, B, C, 3 points. So tan theta, slope is represented by tan theta. Now tan theta is perpendicular by base AB by BC. Now what is AB? AB is S or change of S. And what is BC? Change of T. According to definition, what is change of S by change of T? That is velocity. So slope of a ST graph gives velocity. Similarly, slope of VT graph must give acceleration by the same principle, V versus T, theta. Here M is equal to tan theta is equal to delta V by delta T. So change of velocity by change of time, we know it as acceleration. So here the slope of the velocity time graph gives the acceleration. Now area under the velocity time graph gives displacement. This is a velocity time graph. So the area under this graph gives the displacement, because we all know that displacement is equal to velocity into time. So velocity into time always gives the displacement. Similarly, area under ST graph or displacement time graph acceleration time graph gives velocity. V versus T. Suppose this is a constant acceleration graph. So area under this gives the velocity, because we all know from the formula V is equal to U plus AT. If U is 0, V is equal to A into T. So acceleration to time gives the velocity. Now we start with the graphical proof of equations of motion. We take into consideration a graph that is a velocity time graph of accelerated motion, as we've already discussed this earlier. This is the initial velocity. So the particle starts from here. This is U. When the particle, when the graph reaches the point B, the velocity of the particle at point B is V. So if we have to prove, if to get the proof of the first equation, so proof of V is equal to U plus AT. Now this is of the form of Y is equal to mx plus c, like V is equal to U plus AT. So the slope gives the acceleration, x-axis we have the time, and the y-axis we have the velocity. And according to now acceleration, as you already know, A is equal to the slope of AB. Now what is slope of AB? Tan theta. That means dB by AD. Now we can write dB as BC minus DC. BC minus DC by AD. Again, BC minus CD is equivalent to OA. Similarly, AD is also equivalent to OC. Now we replace BC with V, OA as U, and OC as T. Therefore, V is equal to U plus AT. Now, proof of S is equal to UT plus half AT square. We draw same graph, same as above. Same graph as above. Now we all know the area under the VT graph. That means the area under the VT, the straight line. Area under the VT graph gives the displacement. So displacement is equal to area under AB. Now this area can be divided into two parts, area of one triangle and area of one rectangle. So S is equal to area of rectangle means OA into OC plus half for the triangle, half base is AD into the altitude dB. Now OA into OC plus half AD, we can multiply dB at the numerator and also as the denominator, so it becomes dB square. S is equal to, now OA was U, OC is T. Now AD by dB, something is wrong. dB. AT square. So we have to multiply AD as the numerator and denominator. So because S is equal to UT plus half AT square. Now proof of V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. For the same graph, slope of AB, we know it as A equal to tan theta.